Commanders' first preseason game, and it will be your first time to see Jayden Daniels playing in a Commanders uniform. Although you've seen some practice highlights and you've seen him throw into the net a lot.
Yeah, but I need to see him behind an offensive line. I need to see him with a pass rush in his face. I need to see what happens when the play breaks down in front of him. I need to see what happens when it's not 72 degrees and sunny like it is at training camp. I know it's 98 and it's miserable. I just mean conditions are ripe for him to hit Terry McLaurin on deep balls and hit Jahan Dotson in the end zone because there's nobody pressuring him. At least nobody like in a real game
but they're not
scenario.
Yeah.
This is going to be a real game scenario.
Somewhat. But they're going to be vanilla. They're not going to show all their cards.
True.
It's going to be very basic stuff.
Understood.
Three-quarters of the plays probably be handoffs.
That's fine.
We're going to get all
That's
geeked
a waste
up.
of time.
We're going to get all geeked up. They're not going to sit there and just test everything. That's going to be in the controlled scrimmages. Are those going to be televised? Are they going to be online somewhere?
Be televised. I would guess maybe some beat reporters will have video if teams allow that.
Man, if someone could live stream that would be incredible. I would watch.
They were live streamed last year.
I feel like I've seen some before.
You always see fights that erupt out of
no, but this
scrimmages.
He's talking about like on YouTube. The Ravens YouTube literally had cameras on like one of the fields,
and maybe the Commanders will do the same.
Now I don't know.
Social media
I don't know. These teams are so paranoid about other teams, filming their practice and scouting them up. But man, I would love to see those controlled scrimmages. I can't get too worked. Every time I get worked up and excited about preseason, it's almost always a disappointment.
So you're not going to put any stock into it. We can open up to
if
callers.
He does something great.
800-636-1067. What do you want to see in this first preseason game from Jayden Daniels, and will you put any stock into it? Ultimately, I don't think the preseason matters that much. I remember we talked about this a few weeks ago, reading how Bryce Young was getting like rave reviews after the last preseason game in his work, and they were talking about his poise and his accuracy and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then he had a dud of a rookie season. I am a proponent of the guy getting as many reps as possible. I'm not saying play him a full game, but we talked about some of the experts saying, hey, it wasn't that long ago when Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, they were all playing in every preseason game. And they were trying to find a rhythm. I think if I was the head coach, I would play him a half, and I would give him a ton of passes. It would be you do want to run the football to an extent and work on that, but it would be 75% pass, 25% run. I said the same thing about Sam Howell last year. You haven't seen him. If you're a veteran and you've been around a while and you have chemistry with the same receivers, it's fine. It's all brand new.
No,
they got to build up a rhythm.
He's doing that in the controlled practices. That's where he's doing all that.
Yeah, Eric, but he's not facing a real pass rush. In
Eric,
those
it's not fair. It's not fair to dismiss the preseason game if things go poorly as to, well, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. You can learn a lot about Jayden Washington. You can learn about his internal clock.
Yep.
Is that something that he needs to work on? Does he have someone that he targets on key plays like third downs? I think there's a lot that you can read into a preseason game other than he was 5 for 8 passing and for 76 yards.
I'm just saying I will take the positive from it. I won't.
So if it's positive, it counts. If it's positive, it counts.
Not that
if
counts.
It's negative, it doesn't count.
If it's negative, I'm not going to get upset about it. If it's positive, I'll be excited. If it's negative, I will. Because I'm just gonna give myself a runway here before I bail on this kid. So if he has a good moment, I'm just being honest.
No.
If he has a good moment, I'm gonna be excited. If he plays poorly for whatever reason, he can't handle the pressure or he throws a terrible pick, I'm not gonna freak out.
If he gets sacked a couple of times because he's holding on to the ball too long, I think that would be troubling. I do think on the other side, what's going to be exciting, and we all expect it, is the first time that you see him scramble and he runs so fast, because that one clip that went viral of him running a read option and he just flies by the defensive line and the linebackers. I know none of those guys are going to hit him because he's got, the red jersey on But that I think will be exciting. Even if it's just a 5-yard gain, it's going to pique your interest for sure.
I think you'll see a couple design runs for Jayden in whatever action he gets on Saturday. I think they'll test the wheels out.
I don't
And
know.
he said it himself. He said he's a risk taker.
I know, but I think they're just not going to show a lot. They're not going to put a lot.
It's not going to be exotic.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to run at least once or twice, not when things break down. I think it's like designed running plays.
They're going to show
for
that?
him.
I doubt it.
Well, I mean, it's no secret. It's no secret that Jayden Daniels is going to run
Yes.
as a rookie
I
quarterback.
don't
You're not
think
surprising anybody.
Yeah, I don't think a read option is surprising nowadays.
I mean, if Todd Bowles in week 1, when it's a real matchup, is surprised that Jayden Daniels is running the ball against the Bucs in week 1,
He's a dope.
Then he's a clown.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
He
guess I've
knows
never
what's
thought
coming.
of it that way. I guess I've never thought of it as like a bunch of designed runs. I've always
don't
just
think a
thought
bunch,
of it,
but-
like even like in the regular season. Like I
I think he'll
just
have
think
at
he's
least.
gonna take off.
I think he'll have
when
a-
stuff breaks down.
Well, I think,
I
there's
think he'll
also
have
gonna
at
be-
least
I think-
four per game.
I think
at least.
I think Cliff's going to be in the
Yes.
lab, like you're in your swing lab. He's going to be in his designed run labs for Jayden Daniels.
How many
drawing up-
designed runs does Hurts get?
I mean, are we talking tush push or outside of the
No,
tush
I'm talking
push?
about like a designed run
I think a handful.
I don't know how many per,
per
game.
game. I don't think so. I think it's overstated.
I think you're gonna see a designed run on Saturday.
But I think you are too.
You need to work on a lot of work on your mesh point.
Don't they want
Yeah.
to see it?
think
I would
they're
think
gonna-
they would
I
want to
think
see
I-
it.
Okay, maybe I'm crazy. I don't think they're going to major in designed runs.
I'm not saying
I don't
major,
think they're
but
going to major.
4 per game. If he has,
It's a lot.
why he's going to have probably about 70 snaps a game,
his
right?
rushing prop right now in most of the books is like 400, and most people think that number is absurdly low.
I think it's low, but I think it's going to be when pressure breaks down.
Maybe it's more of that, but I think there are going to be read options, designed runs to utilize
You don't think
the skill set.
You don't think there's going to be a point where Jayden has the ball in Eckler's stomach and has to make a read as to whether to give it or take it himself?
Oh yeah,
There's going to be a lot of those.
Yep, I would think.
Haven't those diminished with Lamar? They've
No.
I don't think so.
No.
How many designed runs does Lamar have per game?
Per game, designed. Now, are you talking about he run them himself or where he sticks it in there and he has to make the decision?
He takes off and runs by himself. I don't know.
So how many times does he pull it?
Yeah.
I don't know, 3, 4.
Right.
And
That's what I would expect from Jayden.
And that's
All right. I just haven't thought of it that way, but maybe it will be.
I just don't think he's only running when he's pressured on a drop
Oh
back.
no way.
I just don't know that they're going to want to expose him.
Well, maybe not in the game against the
So you're-
Jets, but during the regular season, he's going to be running. That's
I think he's going to run when the offensive line breaks down or whatever, and he needs to get that first down.
Do you know how many runs he had
too.
at LSU last year?
No.
135 in 12
How many
games.
of them were
Those are
designed?
not
How many of
100
them are designed?
I don't know. Good luck trying to find that. But I know
Well, even
that it
if-
wasn't 135 pressured in the pocket on dropbacks.
Even if half of them are designed, that's like 6 or 7 a game,
Right.
according to those numbers.
Okay. Hey, you guys might be right. It's not something that I've pondered. I haven't pondered it that he's like a bunch of designed runs specifically because of his frame. Like,
But it'd be almost irresponsible not to use him to an extent because
I think you use him use his athleticism.
brought this up last week and I put it on our Instagram, Sports Junkies Radio. Give us a follow there. The fastest man in the NFL is Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Now, might be, you can argue the donk that ran the super fast
Xavier
40
Worthy.
at the combine. Maybe he's faster, but they had him at 22 miles an hour at his peak. Jayden Daniels on that one long scramble that went viral. I mean, it went viral. It was in a game. Was at 21.8.
Right.
Mm-hmm. No,
So why wouldn't you use that guy on scrambles, on
They will.
bootlegs,
They know it's
on
gonna
read
It
options?
puts tremendous pressure on the
I
defense.
just don't think
when
it's
you have a
going
guy
to
that
be.
can
You're
do
going to see
that.
a lot of it. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I
think you're going to see it as much as you saw
guessing.
from RG3 back in the day.
Well, I think they did that because the Robert was so limited. I just thought you saw more of that with Robert because he was so limited. I think this guy's more of a proven passer.
Similar college stats.
Oh,
Very
he's
similar
definitely a
college
more
stats.
developed passer
He's a
than,
more
than
developed
Robert was
passer.
coming into the pros.
He could just throw more routes. He could read the whole field.
Was that why you don't think you think design runs are for quarterbacks who are inaccurate and can't throw or something? And you don't want that label for Jayden?
No, I just think that. I don't think Robert was super inaccurate. He just they only asked him to read half the field. I just think Jayden's just a more developed player. I don't know. I think part of my thinking is he got a pretty spindly guy here. I don't think they're going to want to have a ton of designed runs for him. I think that he's going to run when he needs to run, and he's an athlete, and he's going to want to get that first down and run.
So you think he's going to be more like a Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Who does run on occasion.
Well, no, I think he's going to run 7 or 8 times a game, maybe. But I don't think it's going to be.
Mahomes doesn't give you 7 to 8 per game.
I don't think it's just going to be. They're going to expose him with all these designed runs. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong.
Well, his last 3 years in college, he rushed for 710, 885, and 1,134 yards.
Yeah, I don't think he's afraid to run.
Yeah, and the 1,134 yards was on the 135 carries in 12 games. So that's more than 10 a game.
Right. I mean,
that's not all scrambles. It's just not.
I think he's going to obliterate that 400.5 rushing yard prop.
I agree.
If he stays healthy, if he plays in 12 or 13 games, he is going to destroy that number.
I think
destroy it.
I think he will too, but I'd be shocked if it's all design stuff. Yeah, like majoring in design.
I don't care whether it's designed or it's whatever. I just think it's a huge bonus when you have a quarterback that can rush for 750 or 800 yards.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think
and then when you get in the red zone, especially, you don't know if he's giving it to Robinson or Eckler or he's going to keep it. Huge threat for them if they use it effectively, which I'm sure Cliff Kings very will.
Yeah, red zone's a little different for me, but I just don't think they're going to want to expose him a ton because he's so spindly. But maybe I'm totally wrong. You guys might be right. You can convince me. You can convince me. Just not my. I just didn't think instinctively that they would want to do that. But maybe you're right.
Maybe they'll protect him at first and ease him into it. But I think the rushing component is going to be a huge part of his game. Now, whether it's designed or the offensive line breaks down in front of him and he's running for his life, he's gonna use the legs one way or the other.
I think he's going to use the legs for sure. And I would take the over, even though we like to bet unders. I would take the over on that also. But I guess I just haven't envisioned him being like a Robert clone.
Well, speak for yourself and Valdez about playing unders. I'm the over king.
Well,
now,
no,
that doesn't mean
on
it's great,
season-long bets, I'm with Valdez on it. I was telling my son.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you should get a consortium of your boys.
Right.
And you should go on all unders on all these quarterbacks.
I was looking at a couple of quarterbacks. So Patrick Mahomes ran the ball 75 times last year, which is less than 5 a game.
Mm-hmm.
His is not designed runs,
right.
scrambles, buying time. Josh Allen was 111, which is almost around a 7 per game.
He's a lot bigger dude. Like I think it's just like I have no problem with Josh Allen doing that.
Lamar Jackson was 148.
But you better adjust to not having a problem with Jayden Daniels doing it because he's going to be doing it.
Which was 9 times a game for him. Justin Fields was 124, which is 9.5 times per game. I think he's going to be in that territory.
He might be.
I don't know how many will be designed. I said I would guess about 4. 4 to 6 designed and
maybe
4 or 5 scrambles.
Maybe if you count a couple 3-yard runs around the in the red zone. But I just don't see.
I think they're going to plan for bootlegs that are going to get you 15, 20 yards. They're going to be read options that sometimes he'll get stuffed, and sometimes maybe he'll go for 15, 20.
If he has less than 6 to 8 total rushes per game, color this guy completely shocked.
Yeah.
I think that's your floor for him.
Absolutely.
All right.
Especially when you look at these other quarterbacks that we're running. I mean, you asked me about Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts' numbers are going to be skewed because of the tush push. He had 157 rushes last year.
Yeah, I don't know how you ferret out the tush push stuff.
But that's over 9 per game.
Yeah.
So even if there were 3 tush pushes, that's 6.
Mm-hmm.
Give them 2 or 3 scrambles. It's still at least there will be 3. I think it's almost impossible to fathom not 3 or 4 designed runs in a game. I'm with you, Cakes.
Oh yeah, 3,
And
4, that might be the
if he's just coming
bare
in
minimum.
and just being a drop back passer, they're not doing justice to his skill set.
Well, okay. All right.
Like you said, you want to put some fear in the defense.
I think that's a reasonable argument.
You want the defense to prepare for more.
I think it's also reasonable to assume that he's going to use his athleticism when stuff breaks down and he needs to go get it. He's going to go get it. But they're not going to. I don't think they're going to write in 10 car crashes for him.
Not 10.
4,
And they're not going to expect it to be a car crash.
Yeah.
They're going to say, I mean, Lamar Jackson is thin. A lot of times he runs those plays and he runs to the outside.
Jayden.
Now he gets hit on occasion. Sometimes he runs out of bounds because he's so fast. Just
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop.
Yeah. I think he's thicker than
but
Jayden.
Eric, you could say every pass attempt is a possible car crash.
Yep.
Sure. That's true.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens. Put it up as the Junkies poll of the day presented by Scotty's Vodka, Maryland made, super smooth. Love throughout the DMV. And it's really just the question I put up there was about the stock. Will you put any stock into Jayden Daniels' first preseason action?
I'm going to be super positive about it. So I'm only going to take positives.
Only positive.
I'm only taking positives.
You have a negative filter. Just filters out all the
because
hurt things.
I'm not going to sit here and attack this kid after his first preseason
No, you
game,
shouldn't.
regardless of what he does.
46% right now say yes. 54% say meaningless.
On the whole, it's meaningless.
Yep.
But if he does something exciting, then it's important.
If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067.